Appreciate everybody's attendance tonight. Entertain a motion that we begin.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Please join us in a moment of silence. After that, Councilmember Stevens will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Moment of silence, please. Thank you.
All rise.
Thank you much. Are we on? Are we online? It's time for public comment. Invite anybody to address the mayor and council. When somebody in chambers, anybody watching like to do public comment, we'll give you till 6:10. Just put public comment and then type in your comment as if you were here in chambers, and we will have that read into the minutes. Give you till 6:10 for that. Item 4 is our consent agenda. There's 2 items here. Approval of the September 17th, 2024 council meeting minutes, and also a proclamation declaring October 4th through 12th as Weber State University Homecoming Week in South Ogden. Councilmember Stevens asked about this, and having this on the agenda is happy to oblige. And so this declaration says, in part, whereas Weber State University, founded in 1889, South Ogden City have been close neighbors since the city was founded in 1936. And whereas Homecoming Week is a long-standing American tradition that brings communities together to rally behind the hometown team. And whereas everybody, including South Ogden business owners, alumni, fans, and community members, can show their Wildcat pride in many ways, including wearing purple, prominently displaying Weber State flag, participating or volunteering in homecoming events, or donating to Weber State University programs. Therefore, the South Ogden City Council, Mayor Supporter, hereby proclaim October 4th through 12th, 2024 as Weber State University Homecoming Week. Encourage all residents to join us in showing your Wildcat pride and support of Weber State University. And so that is our declaration, and if this is approved, I'll present that to, we're pleased to have here tonight the Weber State, the president of the Weber State Alumni Association Board of Directors with us, and so if that is approved, I will present that to Mr. Matt Dixon. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Yes, comments first before we vote.
Okay, thanks. I just request that we amend the minutes on line 13 to include that Ben Levenger and Nathan Davis were in attendance.
Thanks. Let's redo that. And a motion to approve the consent agenda with the changes to line 13 of those minutes, and then to approve our proclamation declaring Weber State Homecoming Week in South Ogden City.
So move.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Mr. Dixon.
On behalf of the Alumni Association.
And Danielle was trying to get a picture.
You guys, come on.
Bring my Weber State shirt.
We got to do this official. Yeah.
You can just shake hands. It's like graduation. Look at the camera. All right.
That's official.
So we get all the famous people coming to our meetings. All the big wigs. Okay.
Have Lisa sign it and
Okay.
sure he knows.
Very good.
He'll appreciate that.
Yeah, he's a good supporter. All right, our first discussion action item is consideration of Resolution 24-30, approving an interlocal agreement with South Weber City for ambulance response automatic aid. Chief Story, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to go over this real quick for you guys, this is kind of an update to something that we've been doing historically. In about 2018, when South Weber started their ambulance service up, and Chief West and Chief Tolman kind of had an informal verbal agreement that South Weber would provide the ambulance EMS service for South Ogden in the canyon from Highway 89 to Mountain Green in that area. It was kind of decided because of the transport engine that we use, the safety and the speed into that canyon. As you guys know, with our transport engine, it's quite large. The patient loading is on the side of that truck instead of the back, like a normal, an ambulance is loaded. So when we go on freeways, it's a little more congested to have to take a whole lane to get patient access into that truck and stuff. So they had decided at that time to let South Weber kind of cover that. There's a lot of dispatch issues in the canyon as well. The county line goes up and down, you know, with the river and things, and so it was decided just to let them take it over in that area, and kind of give them the ability to do that. And so with some changes in the state, some requirements from Weber Consolidated Dispatch, they've asked for kind of more formal agreements, and so that we can present them with the agreement, so they can formally have on record for with the state and the PSAP that we use. So,
Okay.
like I said, something that's been going on kind of normally for us for quite a while. We just need to kind of formalize it. So.
Any questions for Chief Story?
Is there any additional costs that we have with this
Nope, there's no cost to us. I mean, in some ways, there could be potential, you know, cost savings that we're not running the truck up and down the canyon trying to chase down, you know, potential accidents and things. But South Weaver takes on the responsibility of that, so they do collect on, you know, the billing if they transport anybody, and they're responsible for that with their protocols and things. That, as far as that goes, so for us, there's no cost changes at all.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, thanks, Chief. Entertain a motion that we approve Resolution 24-30.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Councilmember Smythe?
Yes.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Howe?
Yes.
Councilmember Stewart?
Yes.
Councilmember Howard?
Yes.
Thank you. Also, item B, Chief, consideration of ordinance 24-12, amending our code 2-2 concerning Knox box regulations. Chief.
Yes, thank you. I'd stepped off my foot off this and then back on to start. Thank you, Mayor. So I've been working with Lisa on this. We over at the fire department, Chief West and I, we decided to push forward with a new Knox box feature. As you know, a couple months ago, we pushed for the ordinance to require the Knox boxes going forward in businesses that we needed to require them. A Knox box provides a kind of an updated system that's kind of something that's pushing forward to the future. It's called an electronic key or an e-key device. When we upgraded our existing equipment, that gave us the capability to use, you know, a hard key or an electronic version of the key. And going forward, we would like to pass this to be able to tell Knox that going forward, we want everybody that buys a Knox box in the city to move to the electronic version. And it kind of provides enhanced security. Right now, what we have is a tracking system and an audit that we pull out a key, we access a building, there's a log and an audit that follows that key being checked out. With the electronic ones, if we program them after 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, they'll actually lose their programming. So if we accidentally lose one, it shuts itself off and is not able to be used after about a 20-minute time period or whatever we decide. If we lose an actual hard key, we're actually pushed and required by Knox to rekey the city. Depending on how many we misplace or what goes on with that. Looking at our Knox system, we have 110 Knox boxes in the city right now. We're looking to upgrade handfuls, 10s of 15s more based on the things that we were working on in the last couple months. But this really just makes it so that going forward, as of you guys, passing this, that Knox will only sell electronic versions. There is some things that we could see in the future. Our system allows us to still stay with the keys or the electronic keys, so the existing businesses don't have to change over right away or anything. It's not a cost right now for them to upgrade, but in the future we could put in for some grants or some help with that, because 110 boxes at about a $350 cost to change the core, could get expensive and stuff. So we would look for some help somewhere with that in the future. But right now there's no indications that we need to push the existing businesses to just change them out, because we are going to change, and Lisa could maybe explain the verbiage a little bit better, but we're going to require that any new construction or renovations or change of ownership would kind of trigger that to say, okay, since this is happening, we're going to require that you upgrade the system while you can. So for us, it's kind of just normal practice. We're going to train our guys a little bit to make sure they're all up to snuff on the electronic version and things, but it also allows us to work in the future with other agencies. Weber Fire District, Ogden, and Washington Terrace, if they jump on board and upgrade to these in the future, we can give them our code into their system, so that if If they get on scene first because we're out on another incident, they can access buildings in our city as well. So it's kind of a thing that we're pushing for the future so that we don't fall behind on another 50 or 100 Knox boxes that we'll have to replace, in the future anyway. So that's kind of where that's at.
Okay.
If there's anything that you have questions on or that I may have missed on the update of the verbiage in the ordinance.
Lisa, would you add anything to that? Okay. Questions for that?
I read in this, Mayor, it talks about business, commercial, but also residential. So does that mean the residents could have a knock box in their residence, or is that not?
Right now, there's not a requirement in our city for us to require a Knox box for residents. There is something that we're considering going forward with some assistance to provide a Knox box option for residents. Some of the population that we go on, they'll fall in their home. We don't have a key. We have to take the door or the window. There is a program where they could rent a box from the city, or we could provide a box from the city, and it goes over their door and it gives access with our Knox system to their home. But as of right now, go ahead.
Sorry, I also read that this might apply to apartment buildings that have locks on the entry that only residents can get into, so they would have a Knox box for that as well. And I think that's maybe what it is also referring to.
Yeah, that's possible, apartments. But we do require apartment complexes to have Knoxes because the newer ones are sprinklered or they have alarms. The clubhouses and things have, chemicals in them and things, so we would require those for those larger residential places, but.
Very good. Okay, entertain a motion that we approve ordinance 24-12.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, this roll call vote. Councilmember Stewart.
Yes.
Councilmember Howard.
Yes.
Councilmember Howe.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevens.
Yes.
Councilmember Smythe.
Yes.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, guys.
Item C, consideration of ordinance 24-13, rezoning city parks to open space 01. Ally, please.
Okay, so yeah, just a quick rundown on this. I know we briefly talked about it last time. So this is just to rezone all the parks in the city from their current zone, which is a residential or mixed-use zone, to the 01 open space zone. And this is so it can accurately portray on the zoning map, so residents and visitors will know this is where the parks are located. And it will accurately portray what they're being used for. The plan is to keep them as like recreational spaces for people to use, not necessarily for them to be developed for residential or other uses. It was on the last Planning Commission meeting on September 12th, 2024. There was a public hearing, discussion, and recommendation. Planning Commission basically didn't have any opposition to this rezone. Yeah.
Thank you. Any questions for Ally on this? Most of the other cities do that. I've never looked at other cities' zoning maps. Is this a common practice among?
Yeah, they'll have, basically all the parks will be at least some shade of green. And maybe part of them will be like cemetery will be a different shade of green, but overall it will be some sort of open space. I did look into how schools were zoned in other cities. Typically they show up as whatever the surrounding residential zone is. And I suspect it's because they're permitted in that zone. And typically schools are on one parcel, and you don't want to create another parcel just for their recreational use, or have it be split zoned. It's best for it to be just one zone.
Cool. Which shade of green are we going with? Do you know?
I don't know, that's at least a question. Yeah.
And I did
make
pick a
it
pickleball
lighter,
court color,
darker.
so if you want some input on that, I'm available. Okay, thank you, Ally. Entertain a motion that we approve ordinance 24-13.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay. Councilmember Stevens.
Yes.
Councilmember Howard.
Yes.
Councilmember Stewart.
Yes.
Councilmember Smythe.
Yes.
Councilmember Howe.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Reports, directions, city manager. Councilmember Howe, you can begin.
I was really grateful that we had that Weber State resolution. My grandfather graduated from Weber State. Both my parents graduated from Weber State. four of my siblings, including myself, have graduated from Weber State. And I think 6 of my mom's grandchildren now have graduated from Weber State. So thanks for that. Thanks for being the alumni president. I got a whole list of alumni if you need to reach out to them.
I think they're already receiving emails.
Yeah, no, it's good. I appreciate that. Other than that, Mayor, I have nothing else.
Thank you. A lot of employees in our city. I mean, that's a big employer of our residents and gives us lots of things to do. Agreed. Councilmember Smythe.
I pass.
Councilmember Stewart.
Thanks. I just have a couple of items. The first one is a question. I had somebody ask me about the website. Are we still in the midst of a renew on the website?
Oh, yeah, where
Okay.
are we on that?
Yeah, and they had some requests for the website. They said, man, I see that we've got sailing in the city. Where's that?
Got what?
Sailing. Anyway, it's just about the pictures that we use on our website. Could we use ones that either aren't stock ones,
I don't know.
or
If
could we use some
I'm
that
not sure. I'll double check, but I don't know where the sailing one
Is it an icon at the top for like recreation
would be.
events?
No.
Oh,
It's just one of our pictures that in the background you can see like a boat. And so it's not front and center, but it clearly doesn't apply to our city. So.
Okay, yeah, and we are in the revision right now. We're currently in the process where they're developing the new website. Lisa and I went through and
It was mostly Danielle.
but yes, we're working with them. So we've approved the new look, and now it's just a matter of they have to build it, which is about a 2 to 3 week process, and then there'll be a mitigation period where they take the old site and transfer it to the new site. So we're probably, I'd say, about 2 months out from it going live. So we're in that process. So if you do see something like that, let us know, because if we can fix it on the current website, it's going to make the mitigation to the new one.
should we let you
much
know
easier.
on that?
Mhm.
Should you
Yeah.
agree our point?
Feel
Okay.
free to look through stuff and say this is wrong, and let's get everything updated now. So good to know.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dan.
And Danielle wasn't here the first time, but yes, there were stock photos that Revise provided for us, and I guess somebody just chose that one. I don't know.
I just remember the first, it was like the stock, just autofill picture. Yeah, it was like a default. So
Cats.
we didn't have pictures of
So please, you place all the cat photos with chickens. That was Councilmember Howard. I just said it louder.
Okay, and the other item I have is I received an email that was notifying of a public, it says free and open to the public. There's, says Thursday, October 3rd, 6:30 p.m., Weber Center Commission Chambers. Featured guest Ricky Hatch, CPA, and the Weber County Clerk Auditor. Topics of discussion are seek clarification on any questions or concerns about Weber County elections, and take a tour of the ballot processing facility. And I just have to say that I was able to take a tour of the ballot processing facility, and it was really interesting. So if anybody's interested, it is Thursday at 6:30 at the Weber Center Commission Chamber, 2380 Washington Boulevard.
Yeah, especially if they're just distrustful of the mail-in process. I think that will ease a lot of concerns. It's excellent. Thank you for finding that.
Mhm.
Anything
Thanks,
else,
that's
Councilmember?
everything.
Okay. Councilmember Howard?
I was just going to thank the department heads, John, the police and fire, for being patient with Chimes. I've got quite a few phone calls from just one resident, and I know it's been a pain, but we're grateful for your guys' work and getting that done. It'll be nice to have done. So when I get the phone call, I'm going to direct him to the comments so that he can follow up. And then I just wanted to, I missed my opportunity last meeting to be able to thank, we've had so many changes in department heads and staff and stuff, and it has been, I was nervous, and I think it's been great. We haven't missed a beat, and everybody's working together, and the city's pushing forward, and we have new visions, and I'm excited. So thank you for everyone's efforts. That's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Stevens?
Thank you. I just want to echo what Councilmember Stewart mentioned about Weber County elections. I believe Weber County does a very effective job in the elections that we have, and I feel very comfortable in what they do there. So, and that is an interesting tour if you want to have that opportunity. I also want to mention that on October 10th, they have a South Ogden open house here at Station 81. And this is where you can see the police and the fire and the other functions of the city. The Public Works is going to be there. So if you have time there on the 10th of October between 5:30 and 7:30, you're welcome to come over and participate in that there. I'd like to also thank Donnell for her in going ahead and organizing the ribbon cutting of the skate park. This is a tremendous opportunity for South Ogden. This shows that we are a progressive city, that we are looking and for things to add to our community that will add life and enhance our opportunities of living here. It's just an amenity, and the interest is just overwhelming. They just gravitate to the skate park, and it is, Mayor, I want to thank you for spearheading us and going forward and making sure this project was taken care of. I'm sure Matt Dixon had a lot to do with it, and a lot of our departments. John had a lot to do with that. But Donnell, I want to thank you for setting up that program, and it'll be an enjoyable event on this coming Thursday. Now, I also went to Weber State, and as many of you in this room went to Weber State. Councilmember Howell, many of his families went there. In 1889, we had pioneers in Weber County that saw the value of education, saw the value of continue the opportunities for the residents to reside in Weber County at that time, so that they could have the advantages of going out into the world. So Weber State at that time, which was known as Weber Academy, was organized in 1889. The buildings that they housed are still there on 25th Street. Well, as you know, Weber State looked to the foothills, and they went to Harrison, just above Harrison where their campus is now, and there was nothing but weeds and other rabbits and other critters up there. And many people thought, gosh, why'd you build Weber State way out in the outer sites of Ogden at that time? And no one's going to go up there. Well, as the Field of Dreams says, if you build it, they will come. And that's exactly what they did. In 1991, Weber State was given changed their name to Weber State University. This institution, which if you go up 40th Street, go right into the campus of Weber State, has enhanced millions upon millions of individuals. We all have taken advantage of what's happened at Weber State. And it is our best interest of South Ogden to partner with Weber State. We can use their talents that they have there to enhance the opportunities here in South Ogden. We can use their talents to enhance our projects and make our community a much better place to live and reside in. So Weber State is very vital to us as South Ogden. It's very vital to our citizens because it is part of our city. And so I'm a proud graduate of Weber State University. In fact, when I was going there, they always said, Weber State, great, great, great. And that's what we do at Weber State. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Dixon?
Thank you, Mayor. And they're still saying Weber State, great, great, great. I guess I'll just follow up with the theme of Weber State. Appreciate Councilmember Stevens, with his involvement in Ogden City prior to moving into South Ogden. Ogden, of course, has a really strong relationship with Weber State, even though I think most people think Weber State's in South Ogden. But I appreciate his ideas of bringing that to bear here in South Ogden, because I do think they're great partners, and we've partnered with them on some good projects with the Club Heights Park and some other things. So thank you for that. Mentioned the skate park ribbon cutting. That's 4 p.m. on Thursday. Update on the Weber's on my mind. Washington Terrace Senior Center. The board of directors for Weber Human Services met last week or the week before in a preliminary meeting. I appreciate Mayor Allen and Tom Hansen from the Terrace inviting me. They're like, hey, this meeting's happening. I was like, I didn't know it was even happening. But we showed up, and I think it somewhat caught the board a little off guard, like, oh, what are you guys doing here? I was like, well, we just want to listen in on your conversation. It went very well. Many of you probably know Robert Hunter. He's the chair. And what Weber Human Services did is they had the communities that currently have centers basically kind of submit a proposal that said, here's what we're willing to do if you want to continue to send some of that funding our way. And they evaluated each center based on the criteria that they had put out there. And so this was the meeting where those results were presented to the board to have some additional discussion. Washington Terrace, they ranked pretty well, but not maybe at the top of a lot of the other facilities, just because some communities have been willing to actually pay the staff and employ the staff to be there. But by the end of that meeting, all of the discussion seemed to center much less about who's paying for the staff and more about the geographical location of centers. And so towards the end, we made that point to the board to say, you're not equally weighting those criteria, because based on your conversation, you're placing a higher weight on the geographical location than maybe you are who's paying for the staff. And if you were to redo your analysis and weight geographical location, you may find different results, because they kept coming back to the Washington Terrace Center as being a really good geographical location, especially thinking that our residents aren't going to want to go down Riverdale Road to try and get out to Roy if they closed Washington Terrace and Riverdale. So I told Mayor Allen and their city manager, thanks for the invite. I had no idea the meeting was happening, and I think because we were there, I think it made a difference in the board to see us there in person. We don't know what the results will be. The board directed staff to go back and do some more work. Their final decision will be this month in October. They're supposed to meet again as a board to decide what they're going to do. So I will keep you posted on that. I have seen some emails. They are trying to set up another meeting with Washington Terrace, and I'll be going to that as well, because I still think they're pushing to try and get the terrace to want to pay and employ the people. So anyway, maybe more than some of you wanted to hear, but it's a big issue going on in the county, and it's been a long, hard road, and we'll see kind of where that shakes out. But obviously we're hoping that they keep the Terrace Center open. It just seems to make sense for folks here in the southeast part of Weber County to have access to that center. As you've noticed, the improvements around City Hall, this building is almost 20 years old. It's 2004, that's 20 years old. And so we've done some touch-up painting in our more public areas and in some of our places where it's needed. You see the recarpet here, and the EOC's getting some new carpet, and so it's been nice to see some of those projects going. Mayor, I think that's all I have. Thanks to all of you and thanks to staff. I echo what Councilmember Howe said, that Howard, staff, we've got a great staff, and everybody's working really well together, and it's been good. Change is always hard, but I agree, we haven't missed a beat, and we're getting new ideas and new skills and talents, and it's just going to add to an already good group. So, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. A couple things since our last meeting. I participated in Bonneville had their homecoming parade, and so I was in that with the other mayors, that the cities that feed Bonneville, and Riverdale, Uinta, Washington Terrace, Bonneville, or South Ogden, we're all Bonneville graduates, so it's kind of fun to see that and to get involved with that. So the other mayors joined me for that, and Young Automotive gave us a nice truck to drive around in for a few hours. It was sad to have to return that. I also had one of our police officers come to talk to my government classes this year about search and seizure and those kind of things, and so appreciate our police for being willing to do that. Ribbon cutting this Thursday at 4. Hopefully you can make it there. And then there's a blood drive here in the EOC on October 30th. So if you think Halloween, think blood, and come and give Red Cross, go register on Red Cross's site for an appointment, but good to support those kind of activities that we have here in the building as well. So thanks for everybody's work and attendance, and with that, entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.